we doing
just get our teams.
Okay.
You're listening to WMCO 90.7 and streaming live on Orbit Media TV on YouTube. This is Lady Muskie Volleyball taking on the Mount Union Purple Raiders here in the ANSI Steel Center at Muskingum University. I'm Logan Weaver, your play-by-play announcer for tonight's contest, and joining me making her sports debut tonight is Rachel Schlar, former Lady General at Ridgewood High School.
And what a game day. You can just feel the energy coming from the court. Both teams are ready for action, and it's going to be a tough match tonight, Logan.
Both teams come in here tied at the top of the Ohio Athletic Conference standings. Muskies and Mount Union are sitting at 4-1. Muskies are 17-3 overall, while the Mount Union Purple Raiders are 20-3 overall. Rachel, real quick, let's go into some of today's players to watch for the Fighting Muskies. And as we said during the pregame for radio, you can't talk about this team without mentioning the Fothery sisters.
No, you can't. You can just tell the bond that they have here on the court, and also you can see the enthusiasm they have just for the love of the game and for the love of their team. You can tell they're a big part of the enthusiasm and confidence here tonight.
One player to keep an eye out for, or I should say not keep an eye out for, will be Kayla Hall, as she is out tonight with an ankle injury. She is a freshman, one of the star freshmen on this team, with 78 kills and about 38 digs on the season. So how much of an impact will that loss have as Miranda Plumley, a junior, actually fills in for the freshman?
Well, seeing that she is a freshman, you can see the impact she already had from her saves, her kills, everything. So you can tell that she is a rising leader here for the Muskie volleyball team. So her not being here tonight may impact the Muskies more than what we think.
How much of an impact does that take on Miranda Plumley? Not so much negative, but more of a positive role, as she was a junior. She didn't have a whole lot of playing time compared to Kayla, but with Kayla coming out of this rotation and now Miranda being put in, how much would that motivate her in tonight's game?
I think that will give her a lot of confidence just because she is getting the play time just after an injury from someone else. So her coming in can give her the confidence and the willpower to make this team better.
It should be an interesting matchup today, as the Muskies are coming off a dominant 3-0 win over the Baldwin-Wallace Yellow Jackets up in Berea. And so with that kind of a win, Baldwin-Wallace hasn't really played that many great teams, according to Coach Donathan this morning. But how much will that win against one of the top teams in the country, now they face Mount Union, how much of an impact will that game have into this week's game?
Well, we know going into the OAC that Baldwin-Wallace was a tough team to beat. It was a very impressive victory for the Lady Muskies. And coming in, it's going to be another impressive victory if they win tonight against Mount Union Raiders, just because they are both very tough teams. And it's just something that you got to look out for, the confidence, the willpower. You just can't give up in situations like this, especially on a very tough team.
Absolutely. And looking at some of the other players tonight, we have Mackenzie O'Shea and Chloe Brandewee. They usually line up side by side on that front line. And you can tell based on their stats, O'Shea with 89 kills, Brandewee with 146 of her own, Brandewee with also 40 digs, and O'Shea with 25. So, and another pairing that we see up front a lot are the Fothery sisters. So having these pairs of two and sometimes three, if you include O'Shea and Brandewee or one of the Fothery sisters up front, how much of an impact does that have, not only offensively in getting kills, but defensively as they try and stop this Purple Raider attack?
Well, looking, height is a big, big thing here for volleyball. And I know playing on the front lines, you have to have height. You can tell that Chloe Brandewee and the Fothery sisters, they have that height. They have the height to be able to block anything coming their way. So you can see that not just kills, but even saves on the day.
Other players to watch out for, Madison Sikorsky has had a lot of playing time recently, the freshman, a big freshman class for this Fighting Muskie team. Meanwhile, they go against Mount Union with a lot of experience on their team. One player, can't remember her name at the moment, but she has, as we saw, and we aren't making this up, 334 digs on the season. How are the Muskies going to try and combat that?
just coming back, I know that from past playing, you try to avoid anybody who has that many digs on the season because you know that they are on their game, or you're hoping that they're having an off night and they just have a terrible day and you can just nail every single ball at her.
Everyone here on campus knows that this volleyball team for Muskingum is probably not necessarily, probably one of the best teams in athletics at the moment, probably carrying athletics on their back, so to speak. So with that pressure and playing at home, three of these players are from the New Concord area and went to John Glenn High School just up the road. How much pressure will be on them tonight, and how much will they be using that in their favor?
It's their hometown. It's going to hit home. Just because they're coming to Muskingum, this is where they live. They take a pride of, any athletic player takes pride on where they live, their home court. Even if it's just at Muskingum, they're still at home. So they're going to take that confidence, and they're going to take it with pride, and they're going to do whatever they can to win.
Both teams are on the court warming up. We are going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we will have the meaning for this game for both teams. So keep it here on WMCO 90.7 and Orbit Media TV.
They call me Maxie, but I prefer tripod. I was your above-average four-legged homie, and then wham, bam, minivan. Some people pity me. Now that's lame. I still run, fetch, and swim. And the ladies love me. I'm the ultimate wingman. Just don't ask me to high five.
Your daughter just had her first breakup. Do you A, put yourself in her shoes? B, console her?
Don't worry, sweetie. This is gonna happen a lot.
Or C, find her a new boyfriend?
Nice single boys. That was weird.
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Welcome back to WMCO 90.7 FM and Orbit Media TV on YouTube and New Concord Cable Channel 9. I'm Logan Weaver, your play-by-play announcer for tonight's game, alongside Rachel Schlarb and Michael Pagano down on the sideline. And I'm going to send it down to Michael real quick. Michael, you were here last week alongside with me for their most recent game. And so what kind of an impact will this game have for both the Muskies and Mount Union?
Oh, it has a huge impact on the game tonight, as the Muskies are looking really good, and so are the Purple Raiders. And it's a big game and has a lot of OAC implications. So back to you guys.
All right, thanks, Michael. So, Rachel, we saw how both teams are at the top of the OAC standings. And so this is going to be one of the biggest games. So if the Muskies win, they will be at the top of the OAC by themselves for the time being. How much of an impact will that have tonight?
I think it's going to bring a lot of confidence to the Muskies if they win tonight. And like I said before, this is going to be a very tough game tonight. Both teams are out to win it. And if the Muskies win tonight, I think it's going to be hard to take them down.
Absolutely. Let's look a little bit at the Mount Union players. And looking at some of them, Allison Baird is the player that we mentioned before that had 334 digs. And she is only a junior, so she will be here next year for this Mount Union team, which means the Muskies haven't seen the last of her as both teams get set for player introductions. Looking at some of the other players here, we have Marley Peck, a sophomore. And one thing that I noticed from this team compared to the Muskies' last home game was against Capital. Capital is nowhere near one of the top teams. No offense to the Crusaders, but they currently sit 9-16, 1-4 in conference, with one of those losses being against the Muskies. So with the Muskies having that big win against Capital, obviously they were expected to win that one, but it helped prepare them for these games against. It was the last game before this long road trip, or this big gap in their, not so much gap, but their big block in their schedule with these bigger teams. So how much, or what do the Muskies need to do to avoid a loss tonight, Rachel?
Well, what they really need to do is that they need to not get down on themselves. I know that when anybody is playing a sport, that if they make one screw up, then they're just out. They're out of their game and they don't know how to fix it. They just got to keep their confidence up and keep the support of their teammates here tonight.
And the Purple Raiders come in on the road, and they are not, both of these teams are some of the best in the country. Muskingum was ranked at one point before their loss to Otterbein, but looking at Mount Union, how much would it mean to them to come in and steal a win on the Muskies' home court?
I think it would be a very victorious victory just for both teams because they are both tied for first place right now. Someone's going to have to take the standing in the lead. Either way, it's going to be a very upsetting loss or a very outstanding victory for either team.
Yeah, it certainly is going to be a hard-fought match. The Muskies' last big game at home was against Otterbein. So the Muskies have faced good teams. They played Baldwin Wallace this past Saturday during homecoming for Muskingum University, so they were on the road for that. They got to miss a lot during that day. Will that play into this at all? They're knowing that they didn't get a chance to play here at homecoming, so will they have a bit of a chip on their shoulder tonight?
I think they might, just because this is their home court and because they could not play during their own homecoming. I think they're going to come out with all their might like it is their homecoming game, even though homecoming was last weekend. So I think they're going to give it all they have and try their hardest against the Purple Raiders tonight.
It'll be a very hard-fought match tonight. As player introductions continue here, we will stay with you here through player introductions. So it should be a very tough matchup tonight. So what do the Muskies need to do to avoid a loss tonight?
Well, what they need to do, they just need to stay on their game. They need to make sure they have defense. Defense is key. Just because if the blocks aren't there and the digs aren't there, you're not going to be able to win. If you don't have confidence in your team members, you're not going to win. There's so many things that come into a factor play, but it's just something that the Muskies need to take pride in, that they are here in the top of the OAC. They need to realize that this game is a make or break it, so they need to stay up on their game and their confidence.
And it's not like the Muskies are just going to be a one-and-done team. There are a lot of freshmen on this team, as well as a lot of seniors. So there's going to be that bit of a gap between the juniors and sophomores. Not too much of them, but once this freshman class, who has been dominant, just look no farther than Brooke Fothery and Kayla Hall, who she is out tonight with an ankle injury. But look no further than them. They are definitely going to be future leaders for this team tonight.
You can definitely tell that they are going to be upcoming leaders, and you can also see that power hitting that they have been bringing, the power defense, offense, you can tell that they are just bringing it to the team for future reference.
We're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we will have the beginning of tonight's match between Mount Union and Muskingum, so keep it here on The Orbit.
Your daughter just had her first breakup. Do you A, put yourself in her shoes? B, console her?
Don't worry, sweetie. This is gonna happen a lot.
Or C, find her a new boyfriend?
Nice single boys. That was weird.
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
So there you are, shuffling through a stack of resumes and you come to mine. This is it, first impression, my way in. But can my resume show you how I truly stand out? Like that I was studying, going to night school while working 2 jobs just to help my parents pay for groceries. Or being the first one to always step up. No, that's something you just can't put on paper. Look beyond the resume and discover new ways to develop great talent that is dedicated, hardworking, and determined like me.
They call me Maxie, but I prefer tripod. I was your above-average 4-legged homie, and then wham, bam, minivan. Some people pity me. Now that's lame. I still run, fetch, and swim. And the ladies love me. I'm the ultimate wingman. Just don't ask me to high five.
WMCO 90.7 and streaming live on YouTube and New Concord Cable Channel 9 on Orbit Media TV. This is Lady Muskie Volleyball taking on the Mount Union Purple Raiders in one of the biggest matchups of the season in the OAC. I'm Logan Weaver alongside Rachel Schlarb up here in the booth, your color commentator, alongside Michael Pagano down on the sideline. We will be going to him throughout the game for reactions from the bench to get input throughout the game, as this will be a very emotional game. One odd injury note for tonight. Although Kayla Hall is out tonight, someone else we have to keep an eye on is the head coach, Haley Donathan, as she actually has a concussion. So we will see if that plays into her coaching abilities tonight. As the Muskies are set to serve tonight, the Fathery sisters, as well as Courtney Nestoff, and it looks like Erin Dixon is out on the court for the Muskies as they are currently on the attack. As that ball goes out of bounds, the actually it'll be ruled in, so the Fighting Muskies will take a 1-0 advantage, a great start for the Muskies. The serve is up, we're back underway, and one thing that the Muskies need to do this week is get off to a hot start, and that ball goes off the hand of number 16, Mackenzie O'Shea, and that'll be a point for the Purple Raiders as they will now get to serve. But as we were saying, how much of an impact will having a hot start be tonight, Rachel?
Having a hot start is very, very impressive for the Muskies. I mean, the game just started and it's already a close game. Both teams are putting up a defense, so we're going to see what happens to see if the Muskies can end up getting a lead here in the first set.
Muskies get the soft touch over the net. That is one of their key strategies here, as it has been the past couple weeks, as we've seen against Audubon, as the Purple Raiders try for the soft touch there. It looks like that was Brooke Nolman for the Purple Raiders, one of the senior leaders on this team, just couldn't quite get it over the net.
And just seeing if players are trying to tip over the net, you can tell that they're trying to place it in the holes that are left on the court tonight.
Almost seems like they're trying to catch them off guard a bit. As that ball goes out of bounds, Muskies have to chase it back down. O'Shea gets it back over to the Purple Raiders. Soft touch there by the front line of the Raiders. Muskies on the attack, but it goes through the net, and that'll be a score for the Purple Raiders as they bring it within back to 1.
You can see that tonight that the Muskies really want this win. You can tell in their faces, you can tell in their gameplay, but there's a time and place where they have to just bring their level of confidence down and bring it 1 point at a time.
As Dixon sets it up for Taylor Fathery, a great job there by the front line for this Fighting Muskie team, as now it'll be, as we get ready for the serve, that'll be Madison Sikorsky, one of the freshmen on this team, as she has 163 digs on the season. So Sikorsky serves it over to the Purple Raiders as they are currently on the attack. The attempt at a kill there, not quite enough for the Muskies to save that one as the Raiders pull back within 1.
So far early in this game, you can tell that their tips are going right in the holes on both sides of the court, and neither teams are able to, I guess, get the ball from a block.
Yeah, so far this season, the Muskies, as they kill there by Brooke Fathery, that was an amazing job by her.
It really was. You can just tell the power and the force behind it. Like I said before, the Muskies want this game coming out on the court. You can see it in their faces. You can see that they want to dominate tonight.
So the Muskies take a 5-3 lead here in the first set. Fathery was on the serve as the kill attempt goes out of bounds, so that'll be a score for the Purple Raiders. They pull within 1.
Looking out at the court tonight, you can just tell that it's going to be a tough game. It's great enthusiasm. There is a huge crowd here tonight, and you can tell that it's going to be a very tough game.
As lack of communication there for the Muskies, not quite able to get it over the line. What happened there, Rachel?
Well, looking at it, you can tell that the setter had set the ball way too far outside, and I believe it is Chloe Brandwire. No, I am wrong. But your right side hitter was not able to get the ball over the net due to how far out of bounds the ball was.
And a quick hit by Erin Dixon, another standout freshman, gets the point for the Fighting Muskies. It is now 6-5 in the first set, still very close. Both teams seem very evenly matched. as Courtney Nestoff serves the ball away to the Purple Raiders. A soft touch there, and Sikorsky gets it. An amazing save. That one goes out of bounds, though, so it'll be ruled out, and we are tied at 6.
What a great play by the Muskies. It's just that willpower bringing out to the court. It's just how to take it 1 point at a time. They just need to learn to relax a little bit.
So the ball goes flying out of bounds, and it ties things back up here at 6. Sets it up for number 7, Miranda Plumley, filling in for Kayla Hall tonight, who is out with an ankle injury. The kill attempt bounces off the defense for the Purple Raiders.
What a great play for Chloe Brandweier. You can tell that she hit hard, and the block, it just went right out of bounds. What a great play by her. Great spike.
Erin Dixon, the freshman, ready for the serve. Muskies up 7-6 here in the first set. Purple Raiders get the point on that play as it bounces just off the Muskie defense. And it looked like that was number 8 for the Purple Raiders, Elise Nicoli, the senior on this team. Ball is served back over to the Muskies. Dixon sets it up for, looked like that was Brandaway, bounces off the save attempt.
You can tell that Brandaway's really having a good night tonight. You can tell that her playing middle is really helping the Muskie offense.
Brandaway sitting right in between Brooke Fothery and Miranda Plumley. A great combination for this Muskie front line. Dixon sets it up for Brooke Fothery. That one is on the line and in. Great precision by Fothery.
What a great placement. Any type of volleyball match, you really want to put it right on the line just so other players have to judge whether or not it's in or out. What a great play by her.
So Muskies take the biggest lead of the set, only 9-7 as the scoreboard gets messed up there. It is actually 9-8 now, but it is now, and scoreboard's still not quite updated, not sure what's going on. They're going to give a 9-8 advantage to the Muskies, or to the Purple Raiders, excuse me. So it looks like that's Jordan Young to Erin Dixon. Great defense by the Purple Raiders.
Like I said before tonight, Logan, the Muskies really need to be on their toes because this is a very hard team to beat, and you can tell that they are also in it to win it tonight.
A lot of seniors on this Purple Raider team. That one goes off the net. Muskies keep it in play as it goes back to the Purple Raiders, and a great job by the Muskies to corral that one.
What a great dig tonight by the Muskies. This is a very long volley.
Yeah, the Muskies still, and that kill attempt goes back off the Purple Raider defense as a timeout is called by the Fighting Muskies. Purple Raiders taking 11-8 lead in the first set. We are going to take a break right with them. You're listening to WMCO in Orbit and watching Orbit Media TV.
So there you are, shuffling through a stack of resumes and you come to mine. This is it, first impression, my way in. But can my resume show you how I truly stand out? Like that I was studying, going to night school while working 2 jobs just to help my parents pay for groceries. Or being the first one to always step up. No, that's something you just can't put on paper. Look beyond the resume and discover new ways to develop great talent that is dedicated, hardworking, and determined like me.
Your daughter just had her first breakup. Do you A, put yourself in her shoes? B, console her?
Don't worry, sweetie. This is gonna happen a lot.
Or C, find her a new boyfriend?
Nice, single boys. That was weird.
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Welcome back to the ANC Steel Center, home for the Fighting Muskie volleyball team as they take on the Mount Union Purple Raiders. Currently in the middle of a volley. Muskie defense and a great dig by Courtney Nestoff. Defense trying to get the Muskies back into this as it is now 9-11 for the Fighting Muskies.
What great placement the Lady Muskies are having tonight. Whenever they're soft touching and tipping over the net, they are really finding those holes in the court where they are not being covered. So you can tell that the defense is starting to falter just a little bit for the Purple Raiders against the net plays.
So the Fighting Muskies pull back within 2 here in the first set. soft touch by Taylor Fothery, something she has been great at this season, but the Purple Raiders get it right in between the defenders there for another point. And as you said before, Rachel, they're trying to expose those weak points in this Muskie defense, and they did so just there.
Yeah, they have been exposing so many weak points with soft touches over the net tonight. And you can tell that the Purple Raiders are trying to come back with the same defense, but it's not always working for them. The Muskies have been on their toes all night.
And a powerful kill attempt there by Brooke Fothery, just well defended by the Purple Raiders. Soft touch there, threw the Muskies off guard as that'll land on the Muskie side, Muskie territory. It is now 13-9 Purple Raiders.
Like we said tonight, Logan, it's going to be a hard game, a very, very hard game to beat the Purple Raiders tonight. The Muskies just have to stay in confidence.
Syria Barrett on the serve for the Purple Raiders. A great dig by their libero as number 17 hits it off the Muskie defense. That was Madeline DeBees, one of the few freshmen on this Purple Raider team, a team that has a lot of senior leadership, something that the Muskies didn't quite see the past 2 games. So Barrett on the serve, Muskies on the attack, well defended by the Purple Raiders as they finally get that one back over to the Muskies. Dixon sets it up to Taylor Fothery, well defended by the Purple Raiders, and a great front line by the Muskies. A quick double hit by the Purple Raiders. As another point is scored by the Muskies, they pull back within 4.
What a great block by the Fothery sisters. That was just right on, and I know it caught the Purple Raiders off guard tonight. They were not expecting that to happen.
And as we see, Taylor Fothery lines up in the middle, and now they switch sides there, Brooke Fothery and Taylor Fothery, and that one goes right off the hands of Taylor Fothery. And that'll be another score for the Purple Raiders, making it 15-10.
In situations like that, you have to make sure to put your hands up just right in time. You can see that you caught her off guard.
So the Fighting Muskies down by 5 as they look to defend the serve. Now on the attack, Dixon with the quick hit back over the net. And Nestoff with the incredible dig. That one goes back over the net. Purple Raiders scrambling just to get it back in Muskie territory. Dixon sets it up to Brooke. And a dig attempt by number 8, Elise Nicoli, but the power on Brooke Fothery's kill was just too much to handle. Makes it 11-15 Purple Raiders.
You can really see the spin on the ball tonight on both Fothery sisters' strikes and for their offense here tonight. You can see that they're both trying to shoot for those outside corners to try to catch the Purple Raiders off guard.
Plumley and Taylor Fothery tried to block that one, but it was just too much as it caught him off guard, and that will be another point for the Purple Raiders, a 5-point lead in the first set. Their libero, number 4, Allison Baird, one of the key players on this team for the Purple Raiders, as that one goes out of bounds, and the Muskies pull back within 4. Courtney Nestoff, the libero for this Fighting Muskie team, will be on the serve. Serve is back overway, great serve as number 9 for Mount Union sets it up. One of the senior leaders on this team, a strong senior class by this Mount Union team as they're scrambling now. The ball is just out of control. Brooks sets it up to Dixon, back over to O'Shea. So an incredible volley, both teams able to keep this one alive. What an effort by this team, by both teams, as that one finally ends in favor of the Purple Raiders.
But what a great play by Courtney Nestoff. That was a very, very tough placement of the ball, and she got to it just in time. What a great play by the Lady Muskies.
And number 17 for the Purple Raiders, Madeline DeBees, a freshman, will serve, and the ball is back over to the Purple Raiders. Soft touch, unprepared by the Muskies. Dixon with a quick hit, that seems to be her thing. Libero attempts to hit it back over for the Purple Raiders. That one goes off the hands of the Purple Raider defense. It is now 17-13 in favor of the Purple Raiders.
Chloe Brandoir is having such a great night tonight. Her defense and offense has been very on point, and her spikes have been phenomenal and hard tonight, Logan.
Erin Dixon, one of the freshmen, similar to Brooke Fothery, not only being a freshman, but also from the New Concord area. She gets the serve for the Muskies as the kill attempt by number 7. Great save by Courtney Nestoff, and the spike And the kill, I should say, by Miranda Plumley.
Miranda Plumley, being one of the key players tonight, have been really a good offense tonight with so much power, just like the Fothery sisters.
Miranda Plumley in the starting lineup in place of Kayla Hall, who one of the freshmen on this team. That one goes off the Capital defense, and a point for them. It'll be 18-14 in the first set. Number 9, Riley Shank, one of the seniors on this Purple Raider team, gets the serve off. Brooke Fothery, the first one to make contact. Miranda Plumley trying for the spike there, as it is a battle up front as things settle down. Great defense by the Fighting Muskies up front. Libero gets it back over. Soft touch by the front line for this Mount Union team, as it is a very long volley here. As that one will go in favor of the Purple Raiders. It is now a 5-point lead, 19-14.
You see a lot of net play tonight. Most of the players are playing defense very, very well on the net. You see a lot of tips happening and a lot of dig out of the nets.
Looked like some miscommunication there as Brooke Fothery came in, but the Muskies get lucky as no Purple Raiders were in the area. It is now 19-15 in favor of the Purple Raiders, but the Muskies are trying to come back. As looking to see who is on the serve for that. That is 21, Jordan Youngs, the junior for this Fighting Muskie team. And it goes right between the duo of Mackenzie O'Shea and Chloe Brandewy on the front line for this Fighting Muskie defense.
Just in situations like that, you just got to make sure your block is there and make sure that it's tight.
Nestoff on the dig, sets it up for Brooke Fothery, and an amazing kill by Brooke Fothery once again.
Like I said earlier, the Fothery sisters are shooting for those outside corners, just straight down on the line tonight. And you can tell it's hard, it's fast, and it has probably one of the most wicked spins tonight.
Rachel, we know that the Fothery sisters are two of the best players, not only on this team, but probably the OAC as well. How much should the Muskies rely on them?
Well, tonight I feel like they rely on them so much just because this is such a huge game that's going to impact them in the OAC. This is the make or break whether or not the Lady Muskies become first in the OAC tournament.
Dixon sets it to Taylor Fothery, but it was well defended by number 9, Riley Shank, as the ball is back over, and it'll be a point for the Fighting Muskies. They pull within 3. They're starting to climb their way back. One thing that's been a trend for the Fighting Muskies is a slow first set. Michael and I predicted this last week against Capital that it would probably be straight sets, but Capital came out and actually won the first set. However, after that, it was all Muskies, as look at that reaction by the Fighting Muskies. And a timeout called by Mount Union. It is 20-18 Fighting Muskies down by 2. We are going to take a break right alongside them. You're listening to WMCO 90.7 and streaming live on Orbit Media TV on YouTube.
They call me Maxie, but I prefer tripod. I was your above-average four-legged homie, and then wham, bam, minivan. Some people pity me. Now that's lame. I still run, fetch, and swim. And the ladies love me. I'm the ultimate wingman. Just don't ask me to high five.
Your daughter just had her first breakup. Do you A, put yourself in her shoes? B, console her?
Don't worry, sweetie. This is gonna happen a lot.
Or C, find her a new boyfriend?
Nice, single boys. That was weird.
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Fighting Muskies taking on the Mount Union Purple Raiders as the point there for the Fighting Muskies. It is now 19-20 in favor of the Purple Raiders. However, the Muskies are trying to claw their way back in this first set as that one goes out of bounds. We are tied back up at 20 apiece. We're going to send it down to Michael Pagano. Actually, not quite yet, as the Muskies, that point actually goes in favor of the Mount Union Purple Raiders. It is now 21-19. We're going to send it down to Michael Pagano. Michael, what is the emotion down there as the Muskies get another point? What kind of emotion are you seeing from this team? And technical difficulties here, but Michael, we will send it back to Michael here soon as the Muskies get back underway.
I know.
And that point goes into the net. Muskies look like they tie this one back up at 21 apiece.
You can tell that the Purple Raiders are starting to falter just a little. They did have a 5-point lead here in the first set, and the Muskies have came back with confidence and the willpower to win this set here tonight.
And that one will go in favor of the Purple Raiders, it seems, as no rule quite yet. Yes, it is 22-21 Purple Raiders as we reach the end of the first set. So Purple Raiders on the verge, but so are the Muskies as we are back underway. Dixon sets it up to Taylor Fothery. That one, an amazing setup from Dixon to Fothery. That one goes off the hands of the front line by this Mount Union team.
What a game tonight. It is 22-22, and you can just feel the tension in the air that both teams are wanting to win tonight, and they are ready to give it all.
Dixon with the quick hit over, almost threw Mount Union off guard. Dixon sets it up to Taylor Fothery. Wasn't quite ready for that one, as number 17 for the Muskies hits it out of bounds. Excuse me, that was Mount Union. Madeline DeBees trying to get the point there, but just couldn't quite get it. As it is now 23-22 Fighting Muskies. Mount Union with a soft touch back over Dixon, trying to get the quick hit, but the Purple Raiders were ready for it as we are now tied at 23. From here on out, it'll be 2 points wins this first set. And another timeout is called by the Purple Raiders. And we're going to send it down to Michael Pagano real quick, try this again. But Michael, what is the emotion you're seeing down there on the sideline?
And I'm really seeing a lot of good emotion. You know, the teams are really excited to be here today, and it's looking pretty good for both teams. We're going to see who's able to win this set. So back to you guys.
Thanks, Michael. And Michael, our sideline reporter for today's game, he's down there involved in both the able to see both the sideline and the crowd reaction a little bit better than we are. So we will be going to him throughout the game to get insight into both the crowd and the team's reactions, as it is going to be a close one, tied up at 23 in the first set.
And what a game it is tonight. The Muskies have came back from a lead of 5 in between their score, and now it's 23-23, so it's any team's game here tonight. So let's just see what happens here for the Lady Muskies.
So the Fighting Muskies and the Purple Raiders return to the court. Allison Baird, the junior for the Purple Raiders, is back to serve this one away. The Fighting Muskies, I should say, Dixon sets it and fight at the net as we try to get Plumley gets it back over to the Purple Raiders as the kill attempt, a powerful hit by the Purple Raiders as that one hit off the hands of the Fighting Muskies. So it is now 24-23 in favor of the Purple Raiders in the first set. Baird serves it back over to the Muskies as Brooke Fothery gets the original hit. That one goes out of bounds, and both teams think they've got it, and the Purple Raiders are going to get the point. So that first set goes in favor of the Purple Raiders, 25-23. We're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we will have your second set action. Purple Raiders lead 1-0.
They call me Maxie, but I prefer tripod. I was your above-average four-legged homie, and then wham, bam, minivan. Some people pity me. Now that's lame. I still run, fetch, and swim. And the ladies love me. I'm the ultimate wingman. Just don't ask me to high five.
So there you are, shuffling through a stack of resumes and you come to mine. This is it, first impression, my way in. But can my resume show you how I truly stand out? Like that I was studying, going to night school while working 2 jobs just to help my parents pay for groceries. Or being the first one to always step up. No, that's something you just can't put on paper. Look beyond the resume and discover new ways to develop great talent that is dedicated, hardworking, and determined like me.
And we're back in the NC Steelers Center, home for Fighting Muskie Sports. I'm Logan Weaver alongside Rachel Schlarb with Michael Pagano on the sideline. And after that first set, Muskies fell 25-23. What are some takeaways that the Muskies need in order to bring this one back even?
Well, I think the Purple Raiders has figured out that they keep setting up Miranda Plumley, and just going to your outside hitter all the time really doesn't give the Muskies a chance to try anything new or to take away the defense of the Purple Raiders, just because it's very easy to figure out if you just keep going to one person, it's going to come back and bite the Lady Muskies.
Yeah, and so the Purple Raiders lead 1-9 as the Fighting Muskies look to come back. Last week at home, they played against Capital, a much weaker team than this Purple Raider team. However, the Muskies were able to come back strong. And one thing that I've noticed between these games, as I was also on that game as well, the Muskies fell behind early in the first set. That's why they lost the first set to Capital. However, late in that first set, the Muskies stormed back. We saw the same thing here, as the Muskies almost won both last week's first set and this week's first set. Last week against Capital, the Muskies won in dominant fashion, 25-17, 25-15, 25-13 in their 3 sets against Capital. However, this is a much different beast than Capital. So I think that the Muskies should be able to come back stronger, knowing that they're down 1-0. But if they come back tied at 1-1, then they know that they can get over that hump and get to 2-1.
You can tell after the set was over, the Lady Muskies ran off the court. They were smiling and they were giving each other high fives. They were basically congratulating each other because they know they have what it takes to win in them. And I think they're going to come back with even more confidence to beat the Purple Raiders tonight. Seeing them on the court right now, they are ready for the next set.
Riley Shank, the senior for the Purple Raiders, will be back to serve. Along with her is Madison DeBees, the freshman, number 17, number 11, Brooke Nolman, and as well as number 9, oh, sorry, that was Riley Shank anyway, Allison Bard, I meant, as well as Mallory Slyman. A lot of seniors on this Purple Raider team as they take a 1-0 lead in the second set. Jordan Young is out there for this Fighting Muskie team. She gets the original hit as that one goes out of bounds. Muskies are finally on the board in this first set. We're tied at 1.
We are having a lot of balls going out of bounds tonight, or a lot of balls hitting the antenna, which is causing more points for the Purple Raiders. I feel like that's one of the Lady Muskies' downfalls tonight in this game.
So we're back underway for the Purple Raiders. A soft touch, that one goes out of bounds. Muskies now take a 2-1 lead as they will be on the serve. Looks like that is Chloe Brandewee, one of the seniors. She is having a decent game so far tonight as she will be on the serve. Looking at this Muskie front line, looks like we have Taylor Fothery, Brooke Fothery, and Mackenzie O'Shea as that point goes to the Purple Raiders.
It looks like they might redo the play, that they might have blew the whistle on a wrong call.
And yeah, it looks like Chloe Brandewee will be back again. So scoreboard still remains at 2 apiece. Not sure if that's still correct or not, but we will see as we're back underway as the libero, Allison Barrett for the Purple Raiders, gets the original hit. Dixon sets it up to Brooke Fothery. Decent hit back over to the libero. soft touch up front by the Purple Raiders. We have a decent lob or volley going here as Dixon sets it up for Taylor Fothery, an awkward hit. As we have the Fothery sisters and Mackenzie O'Shea on the front lines. That one goes just off the hands of Jordan Young. So that'll give the Purple Raiders a 3-2 lead, I believe.
You can tell that Jordan Young was ready for a spike and not by a soft tip going over the net. She was not ready for that play.
It looks like the score will remain at 2 apiece. So the Muskies goes off the net, a great hit over to the scorer's table. Shout out to Athletic Director Tom Cadell. He ends up with a hit on that one for the Fighting Muskies. I don't happen to see Tom Cadell on the roster, so I'm not sure if that one would have been legal or not. Anyway.
Great defense by him.
Great defense by Tom Cadell, yes. As Sikorsky gets the serve for the Fighting Muskies over to, and that one goes off the hands of Sikorsky. Ties this one up at 3 in the first set.
You can tell that it's a really big fight here tonight, Logan. The Lady Muskies are ready to win it.
Number 22, Celia Barrett, the senior, comes in to serve for the Purple Raiders. Young gets it to Dixon, back to Brooke Fothery. That one goes out of bounds. Muskies back on top, 4-3.
Like I was saying earlier tonight, Logan, a lot of balls is going out of bounds from blocks and hitting the antenna. I can count for many points that this has happened tonight, and it's just almost ridiculous how many balls are not staying in play.
Decent volley gun here. That one is saved by Sikorsky, an amazing dive as she keeps the ball in play. She gets the initial contact to Plumley, who gets it to the libero of Mount Union. And that was off the hands of the defense into the net, so it looked like that'll be a point for the Purple Raiders, as it is now tied at 4 apiece. So the Muskies, Dixon gets it back to Taylor Fothery, and that will be off the hands of the Purple Raider defense. Muskies back up by 1.
As we've seen tonight, Courtney Nessoff, her serves have been very light but very hard all at the same time.
Courtney Nessoff just a little bit too much on that serve, as it'll bring the Purple Raiders back even with the Muskies at 5 apiece here in the second set. Raiders lead 1-0 overall. The libero, Allison Baird, on the serve for the Purple Raiders, as the Muskies on the attack. The nice soft touch bounced around the Purple Raiders defense as Plumley gets it in just the right spot.
We've been seeing a lot of soft touches tonight. These little tips over the net have been really getting both teams. They're both finding holes on the court tonight.
And it looked like that was Fothery on the serve. No, that was Dixon on the serve, so that'll be out of bounds. And another point for the Purple Raiders. We are tied back up at 6 apiece. Number 17, Madeline DeBees on the serve for the Purple Raiders. Great attack by Plumley. That one goes directly into the net. That'll give the Purple Raiders their first lead since the beginning of the second set. They lead 7-6. Served by the Purple Raiders, a great dig by Brooke Fothery as that one goes out of bounds. A great attempt by the Muskies. However, it is now a 2-point lead, the largest lead in the second set, 8-6 in favor of the Raiders. Great effort by Brooke Fothery as she gets the initial hit, trying to get it in the weak spot of this Purple Raider defense off the top of the net. Fothery on the initial contact, and that is Chloe Brandwee, I should say, on the front line, along with Mackenzie O'Shea and Aaron Dixon. That one is just out of bounds. So now the Purple Raiders take a 3-point lead. It is now 9-6.
And what a great play by the Fothery sisters tonight. You can tell that they're really on their game. There has been some very hard balls hit towards them, and they are taking it.
And one goes off the hands of, looked like that was a combination of Brandwee and Plumley as a timeout is called by Coach Donathan. It is 10-6 in favor of the Purple Raiders. We are going to take a 60-second break, but when we come back, we will have more second set action here from the ANSI Steel Center. So keep it here on WMCO 90.7 and Orbit Media TV on YouTube.
Your daughter just had her first breakup. Do you A, put yourself in her shoes? B, console her?
Don't worry, sweetie. This is gonna happen a lot.
Or C, find her a new boyfriend?
Nice single boys. That was weird.
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
So there you are, shuffling through a stack of resumes and you come to mine. This is it, first impression, my way in. But can my resume show you how I truly stand out? Like that I was studying, going to night school while working 2 jobs just to help my parents pay for groceries. Or being the first one to always step up. No, that's something you just can't put on paper. Look beyond the resume and discover new ways to develop great talent that is dedicated, hardworking, and determined like me.
This is WMCO 90.7, the radio voice of Muskingum University. Alongside Rachel Schlarb, I am Logan Weaver with Michael Pagano down on the sideline. A great volley by the Muskies as they finally get a point, another point in the second set. It is 10-7 in favor of the Purple Raiders.
What a great play by Miranda Plumley. Her spike was on and it was powerful, and you can tell she hit right on the inside corner of the court, and it caught the Purple Raiders off guard.
Speaking of the Purple Raiders, they get another point to get a 4-point lead right here in the second set. It is 11-7 as number 9, look like that is, don't have the number quite yet, but a great effort by the Muskies. They pulled back within 3. That was Riley Shank on the serve.
You can tell tonight that a lot of the gameplay is happening above the 10-foot line. So the Lady Muskies really need to be ready to come back in the second set.
Shank sets it up, and it is a great defensive stop by the Fighting Muskies. That one goes into the net. Muskies pull back within 2. It is now 11-9. Muskies starting to make a comeback. Brandon will be set on the serve. That ball was back up away over to the Purple Raiders, just over the net.
It looks like the Purple Raiders were in the net, which calls for a point for the Lady Muskies.
So the Muskies pull back within 1. As a great defensive stop by the Muskies front line puts them within 1 as the Purple Raiders on the attack. A long shot by the libero. Fothery with the attack up front. Dixon sets it up with Taylor, and a great save by the Purple Raiders, but too many touches on their side as the Muskies tie this back up at 11.
What power the Lady Muskies have tonight. You can tell that their front row is ready. And I believe this is Brandwee's 6th time serving.
And look like that just graced the fingertip of one of the Muskies as the Purple Raiders go back up by 1.
Looks like Courtney Neslov is back in for the Muskies as librero.
So great, the Muskies are on the attack in a great effort and a statement hit by the Fothery. You can't tell if that was Taylor or Brooke. It looked like it was Brooke.
And what a comeback from the Lady Muskies. It is now 12-12, and it's coming back around from the first game. The Lady Muskies are here, and they are in it to win it.
And that one goes wild off the hands of Sikorsky, so that'll be another point for the Purple Raiders, as it is now, I believe, 13-12 in favor of the Purple Raiders. Looks like that is number 22, Celia Barrett, on the serve for the Purple Raiders. Barrett with the awkward hit. That one goes flying out of bounds toward the scorer's table, and that'll be a point for the Muskies, tying this one up at 13. Brooke Fothery on the serve for the Muskies. That one just out of bounds as the Purple Raiders try and get it back over to the Muskies. Great effort up front by both teams as the libero, Allison Baird, for the Purple Raiders. That one was an awkward deflection as the Fighting Muskies now take a 14-13 lead.
What great defense by the Muskies tonight. They keep catching the Purple Raiders off their toes, and you can tell that there's just so much gameplay happening above the 10-foot line. There's so many short tips throughout the game tonight.
And another point for the Muskies as the Purple Raiders look like they got into the net there. It is now 15-13 in favor of the Fighting Muskies as they are now on a bit of a rally, Rachel.
They really are, Logan. You can tell that just taking the lead just really pumped them up. They came off the court screaming. And I think this has really given them confidence and the boost to make them win this set.
So what do you think has been the difference for the Muskies? They seem to have a little bit more confidence this time around.
I think realizing in the first set that they had the power to come back, but coming into the second set, they were down by 2 points just a little bit ago, and then just bringing it out to 15-13. You can tell that the Purple Raiders are starting to falter, that almost every single play of theirs is ending in a shank where it's wildly going off the hands of the back row.
So the Fighting Muskies lead 15-13 here in the second set. Both teams are ready to re-enter the court as the Purple Raiders break from their huddle. They look to stop the bleeding here. They were up by 3 at one point in the set. However, they have now, it has been a 5-point swing at the very least. It is now 15-13 in favor of the Fighting Muskies, who are looking to tie this matchup as the Raiders lead 1-0. Some of the historical aspect to this series, Muskies lead the all-time series record against Mount Union 45-15. As a great effort up front by the Purple Raiders, Muskies are able to corral that one. Fothery with the long hit. Baird sets it up to DeBees, but that one goes just out of bounds. It is a point for the Muskies. They now lead by 3.
What great defense by Brooke Fothery tonight. She has been digging every single ball coming her way with very few mistakes tonight. She is really on her game.
So it looks like the Purple Raiders are set to serve this one away. As we're back underway, Muskies now on the attack. Dixon to Fothery. That one is a great save by number 8, Elise Nicoli, one of the many seniors on this Muskie team, but Taylor Fothery gets it just in bounds. Great placement.
Courtney Nesloff is back up to serve. She's been having some really good floaters tonight.
And one thing that this Muskie team is able to do, they have a great balance of not only the soft touches, but the power hits, as that one is a great hit by, it looked like that was Aaron Dixon.
Something really great for the Muskies tonight. Their blocks have been almost perfect. There was only a couple blocks that they weren't able to put up to the net tonight. But going into the second match, you can tell that they have really brought their confidence back up for getting ahead in the set.
Purple Raiders on the attack. Number 17, DeWise, that was DeBees. And that one goes just out of bounds as the Purple Raiders are now back within 2. Muskies lead 17-15. As now the Purple Raiders are set to serve. That is Baird, the libero, on the serve for the Raiders. That one is just out of bounds. That one looked kind of iffy, but the Raiders pull back within 1.
You can see the support the Lady Muskies are having on the court for their teammates tonight. You can tell they're trying to stay confident and trying to bring anything bad happening on the court to come out and just win this OAC game.
That was a fantastic save by Sikorsky on the previous set, or on the previous attack, I should say. And that one goes off, deflected crazily off the hands of the Muskie front line, out of bounds. So the Purple Raiders tie this one up at 17 apiece. Baird once again back on the serve. Dixon to fight. That was Brandewee with a statement hit.
What a fantastic play. She got up there. There was no digging that ball out. It was right on the 10-foot line. What a fantastic play by Chloe Brandewee.
And the Fighting Muskies serve this one back, and they lead by 1. That one, they're going to rule it on the line, so it's 18 apiece. Let's send it down to Michael Pagano on the sideline. Michael, this has been a very evenly matched game so far here in the second set. What are you seeing down there as far as both teams?
Oh, Logan, I'm seeing a lot of energy, actually. I mean, there's a lot of energy in the gym, a lot of energy between both teams. And I'm really excited to see the outcome of this set and just to see what kind of implications it has on the rest of the match. So back to you guys.
Thanks, Michael, as a point scored by Mount Union gives them the 19-18 lead. As the Muskies call a timeout, we're going to take one right with them. So keep it here on WMCO 90.7 and Orbit Media TV on YouTube.
Your daughter just had her first breakup. Do you A, put yourself in her shoes? B, console her?
Don't worry, sweetie. This is gonna happen a lot.
Or C, find her a new boyfriend?
Nice single boys. That was weird.
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
They call me Maxie, but I prefer tripod. I was your above-average four-legged homie, and then wham, bam, minivan. Some people pity me. Now that's lame. I still run, fetch, and swim. And the ladies love me. I'm the ultimate wingman. Just don't ask me to high five.
We're back at the ENC Steel Center as the Muskies get a point and tie this back up at 19 apiece in the second set. I'm Logan Weaver alongside Rachel Schlarb, our color commentator for this evening's match between the Fighting Muskies and the Mount Union Purple Raiders. Michael Pagano down on the sideline for us, giving us info on his perspective down on the sideline. That one goes just out of bounds. Muskies now back up by 1.
You can really tell how tight of a game this is tonight. Both teams are really trying to win it because no matter what, one of these teams will be ahead in the OAC after tonight.
Yeah, both teams come into this tied at 4-1 as that ball goes out of bounds off the Muskie front line. It is now tied back up at 20, something we saw in the last set too. And now back-to-back sets tied at 20. This is going to be a long night for both teams and for the fans in a good way.
And wow, what a spike by Taylor Fothery, or Brooke Fothery, my bad.
And there's Brooke Fothery once again, back-to-back plays, an amazing effort.
The Muskies front row is really getting height tonight. They are really putting the ball down on the Purple Raiders.
How much of an impact does that have on them from the emotional standpoint for this Muskie team, seeing their top players have these big hits?
It's always great to get a really big kill, especially at a time like this. But little screw-ups throughout the game is really going to hurt the Muskies tonight because the Purple Raiders are on their defense.
And as we were just there, the Muskies gave up another point. So we are tied back up at 21 apiece in the second set. That ball barely gets it back over the net. And that was a great spike. Trying to see who that is. Looks like that is number 7, Mallory Slimman for this Purple Raider team. They lead by 1. Brooke Fothery gets it set. Back over to Dixon, and a great spot by Dixon. Bounces off the net into the Purple Raider defender. Another point for the Muskies. They are tied back up at 22 apiece as look like that is Sikorsky, Madison Sikorsky for the Fighting Muskies back to serve. Sikorsky serves it over to the Purple Raiders. Number 12 for the Raiders gets it over the net in an awkward fashion as the Raiders are back on attack. As this defense keeps trying to hit it, but it's just over the hit.
What a great spot by Brooke Fothery. Wow, Logan, that was a fantastic play by her. She tipped it right on the line of the outside.
Absolutely, and I was just going to mention that as you said it. So great timing there, but as Brooke Fothery gets great placement as she has done all night. Dixon sets up to Fothery again, and that one is inside.
I'm just so pumped, Logan. I am so excited. For someone who has played volleyball so much, it is so great seeing a team like the Lady Muskies come out at 24-22, where it looks like they are going to win this second set. So great job to the Lady Muskies, and also a great play by Brooke Fothery again. She has been on her game tonight with both tips and spikes on the 10-foot line and the outside corners.
So the Muskies lead 24-22 in the second set. This is a packed house tonight. One of the best audiences we've seen all season so far for pretty much any sport for the Fighting Muskies as they take on the Mountain Union Purple Raiders. They lead the second set 24-22. It has been a hard-fought match by both teams.
You can really tell. Anybody knew going into this game tonight, it was going to be a hard game. It was going to be hard sets to win, and it's looking like the Lady Muskies are going to pull through the second set tonight at 24-22.
Coach Donathan gives her instructions, as well as the assistant for this Fighting Muskie team on what to do, as they are only 1 point away from winning this second set. Sikorsky, great serve. Purple Raiders on the attack. That one goes off the hand of Jordan Young. And that will be too many touches anyway for the Fighting Muskies. Muskies now lead 24-23, still set point. Number 22, Celia Barrett on the serve for the Purple Raiders. Dixon to Brooke Fothery. And that one will be off the net, so it is now 24 apiece in the second set.
The Lady Muskies have to earn 2 more points going into this set. It has to be 26-24 to be able to win.
So whoever wins by 2 in this set will take the second set, as the Purple Raiders are looking for a commanding 2-0 lead. Muskies have not been swept so far this season, so they are looking to come away with a second set victory and stay alive. Great volley, great defense up front by this Fighting Muskie team, as another great defensive hit, but the Purple Raiders get the point. It is now set point in favor of the Purple Raiders.
The Lady Muskies have to stay on their toes if they want this set tonight.
Barrett back on the serve. Young gets it to Dixon, to Brooke Fothery with a soft touch, but that one goes out of bounds. So that will be another set win for the Purple Raiders, 26-24, as they now take a 2-0 lead. We're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we will have a sideline report from Michael Pagano. So stay tuned on WMCO and Orbit Media TV.
So there you are, shuffling through a stack of resumes, and you come to mine. This is it, first impression, my way in. But can my resume show you how I truly stand out? Like that I was studying, going to night school while working 2 jobs just to help my parents pay for groceries. Or being the first one to always step up. No, that's something you just can't put on paper. Look beyond the resume and discover new ways to develop great talent that is dedicated, hardworking, and determined like me.
Your daughter just had her first breakup. Do you A, put yourself in her shoes? B, console her?
Don't worry, sweetie. This is gonna happen a lot.
Or C, find her a new boyfriend?
Nice single boys. That was weird.
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
welcome back to the ANC Steel Center, home of the Fighting Muskie women's volleyball team. And we're going to send it down to Michael Pagano, who will have a sideline update on this Fighting Muskie team, who are currently down 2-0. Michael, what is the emotion that you see as you are the closest to the side or to the huddle there? What do you see from this Muskie team in this game so far?
Yeah, guys, it really just looks like the energy is still there for the Muskies, but, you know, it's kind of getting down a little bit. They're not getting down on themselves, but there was a kind of a disappointing set, obviously losing the big lead at the end there, but they are trying to stay in this, and I believe if they win this set, they still have a good chance in this matchup. So back to you guys.
Thanks, Michael. Michael is our sideline reporter for tonight's matchup between the Fighting Muskies and the Purple Raiders. So the Purple Raiders lead 2-0, and you can't say, Rachel, that the Muskies haven't been giving it their all. They have definitely been close in both sets.
I think sometimes they're getting a little bit of lucky calls. You can tell from up here that some of the balls do look in on the Purple Raiders side and that there are touches, but they are not being called. So it could just be that we are not seeing what the refs are seeing, but it's really looking like the Lady Muskies are getting a little fed up in a way of just having their lead taken from them.
So the Fighting Muskies will come out and try and get this third set victory. As the Fighting Muskies come out, they were looking to try and get a hot start. That's something that we haven't seen from them this week. That's something that they did against Capital. They were able to get those big leads early, at some points being up 9-2 in those sets, and that really set the pace for the rest of the game against Capital. Here it's been back and forth for the rest, or for most of this game, as we've seen both sets, end in 2-point differences for the Purple Raiders. That one is a wild hit off of number 7, Mallory Sliman, as they barely get it over to the Muskies. Fothery with a great save. Purple Raiders trying to just corral this one and keep it alive. Dixon over to Brooke Fothery. Great placement, as it just seems like that has been the name we've been calling all night, is Brooke Fothery.
Brooke Fothery has really been hitting well outside tonight. Her spikes have been on and been getting around the block of the Purple Raiders.
So the Muskies, for the first time tonight, take a 1-0 lead in a set. Nestoff with the huge hit. That one goes clear across this court as the Purple Raiders front line try and keep this one alive. So do the Muskies. A soft touch off the libero. Number 17, Madeline DeBees tries to keep it alive for the Purple Raiders. And so do the Muskies. They're keeping it alive. That one goes into the stands. So great job by the Fighting Muskies. They now lead by 2.
What a great play by the Fighting Muskies. I know Courtney Nestoff there. Sometimes you can't handle how hard a volley comes off of your arm, so that was a great play by her.
We've seen a lot of those types of plays, as that was a great job by Erin Dixon.
Very great placement. You can see tonight that a lot of the Muskies are spiking or setting to the very far corners of the court, and they are getting there and catching the Purple Raiders off guard tonight.
Dixon has always had that special touch where it's not always on the third set, sometimes even on the second touch. She gets that quick hit over the net as the Purple Raiders are scrambling to get this one over the net. And that one barely gets over. Dixon sets it up to Chloe Brandaway. Purple Raiders weren't expecting that, as it looks like the Muskies were called for being in the net, so the Raiders will finally be on the board here in the third set. Muskies lead 3-1. Muskies definitely look like they've come to play in the third set. Can't say that they haven't been ready in the first 2 sets, as both sets were won by the Purple Raiders by 2 points in each set.
You can tell that the Purple Raiders are ready for anything the Muskies have been giving them, but their spot on tips at the 10-foot line here in the court is really catching them off guard.
And great job. Miscommunication by the Purple Raiders is opportunity for the Lady Muskies. They now lead by 3.
I know I said this before, but the Lady Muskies really want this, and you can see going into this third set that they are in it to win it.
Mount Union on the attack. A great kill attempt. That one goes off the hands of the Muskies front line, as it'll be a point for the Purple Raiders as they finally back up on the serve. That is Celia Barrett, one of the many seniors on this Purple Raider team. Celia with the serve, a great dig by Jordan Youngs. Dixon is able to get it over the net and keep it alive for this Muskie team. Courtney Nestoff with a great dig. A great kill attempt by Brooke Fothery, just unable to get it over as this Purple Raider defense is coming up strong. And a missed opportunity by Taylor Fothery, a rare moment there.
There has been great defense from the Muskies tonight. Their offense has been a little shaky in the front row, but let's just hope that they bring that back up to win this third set.
Dixon sets it up for Taylor Fothery, an amazing hit.
What a fantastic play. We've seen tonight that some of our front row hitters have really put the ball down to where there was no way the Purple Raiders was going to be able to get it.
Muskies lead 5-3 in the third set. They trail 2 sets to none to the Purple Raiders as they're trying to just, at the very least, get 1 set win. That one goes over on the scoring table in the area of Coach Shank, or Athletic Director Shank, in his final year as Athletic Director. But the Fighting Muskies now lead 5-4 in the third set. Serve is up by the Purple Raiders. Dixon gets it to Taylor Fothery, and another great placement right on the line.
It looked like that volley hit right off the net, so the Lady Muskies should be really glad that that volley stayed in.
In the second set, it was all Brooke Fothery, but now it's been on Taylor Fothery for the Fighting Muskies in this third set. Great save by Brooke, as on the second hit, the Muskies get it back over as that one goes out of bounds once again toward the scorer's table.
What a great try by Miranda Plumley, diving into, it looks like, the scoring, just trying to save the ball, almost hurting herself in the process.
So Rachel, the Purple Raiders are definitely not out of this set as they still lead 2 sets to nothing. And that one is going to be scored for the Muskies, so that is now a 2-point lead. What have been some of the things that you've been seeing that you like about this Purple Raider team?
What I really like is that they have been playing very, very well above the 10-foot line, and that is all you can really ask for with a good team, just because there's a lot of tips that the Lady Muskies are playing tonight. So they have been really on their toes, but something that the Purple Raiders really need to work on is keeping it together and staying on their toes in the back row defensively.
Miranda Plumley gets a 3-point lead for the Muskies as they now lead 8-5. That one goes off the hands of Sikorsky. Tried to save it on that one as it'll be a 8-6 lead for the Muskies in the third set. Raiders are back to serve. That is Madeline DeBees on the serve, one of the few freshmen on this Mount Union team. And that was just a missed set by number 9. That was Riley Shank, the senior.
And what great placement by Chloe Brandowy, because those tips tonight on the 10-foot line are really catching the Purple Raiders off guard.
Dixon on the serve for the Muskies. Great save by Dixon as they dig it out of the net, at least attempt to, but they just weren't able to. So it is still a 2-point lead, but Mount Union is staying alive in this third set. As we have Shank now in for the serve for the Purple Raiders. Dixon sets it up to Plumley. That one goes out of bounds.
We've been seeing a lot of sets tonight going towards Plumley, and for the overall, she has been hitting that corner right on the line. This was just one of the few instances where it went just slightly out of bounds.
That ball was actually deflected off of Purple Raiders, so that was actually a point for the Fighting Muskies. They lead 10-7 here as a defensive attempt by, looked like that was Brandowy up front, just couldn't quite get it, the awkward deflection. So it is now a 2-point lead in favor of the Muskies. Purple Raiders now on the attack as the Muskies now get the ball. Brandowy, great set by Fathery and miscommunication by the Muskies will tie this game up at 10 apiece. Or excuse me, it'll make it 10-9. So the Muskies still with a 1-point lead, but just a miscommunication there. What happened there, Rachel?
Something like that could just be someone has called the ball but did not take ownership of it. 1 point like that can cost the Muskies the game, so let's hope that it doesn't come to burn them here at the end of the third set.
As the Muskies, as you said that, they must have heard you as they come back and get another point. It is 11-9 in favor of the Muskies. They lead in the third set as Brandewy on the serve. Attack by the Purple Raiders. Just an awkward hit off the arm of Brandewy. And now the Purple Raiders, Brandewy will come out of the game. Courtney Nastoff in replacement.
It seems like the Lady Muskies should have been able to retrieve that hit off of Brandewy just because it was high enough, but it looked like the Lady Muskies were not ready.
Dixon to Fathery. Great defense off the arms of Fathery as they're going to call in the net against the Muskies. So now we are tied up at 11.
The Lady Muskies are having, in a way, silly hits tonight, just simple mistakes that are making them fall behind.
Dixon, great effort by the Muskie front line. Fathery, and some more miscommunication there. O'Shea and Coach Jonathan does not look thrilled, and a timeout is called by the Muskies. Jonathan goes into the huddle as we are going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we will have more third set action here on WMCO 90.7 and on Orbit Media TV.
So there you are, shuffling through a stack of resumes and you come to mine. This is it, first impression, my way in. But can my resume show you how I truly stand out? Like that I was studying, going to night school while working 2 jobs just to help my parents pay for groceries. Or being the first one to always step up. No, that's something you just can't put on paper. Look beyond the resume and discover new ways to develop great talent that is dedicated, hardworking, and determined like me.
Your daughter just had her first breakup. Do you A, put yourself in her shoes? B, console her?
Don't worry, sweetie. This is gonna happen a lot.
Or C, find her a new boyfriend?
Nice single boys. That was weird.
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Welcome back to WMCO 90.7 and Orbit Media TV on YouTube. Great effort up front by the Fighting Muskies as they now tie this back up at 12 apiece. It is now 12-12 between the Muskies and the Mount Union Purple Raiders. Raiders lead 2-0. Let's take it down now to Michael Pagano, who was on the sideline. Michael, this has been a very hard-fought set here in the third as Mount Union looks to take the win and Muskies look to just get on the board. What are the emotions you're seeing from both sides?
You know, it's really been, like you said, it's been a really hard-fought set. The Muskies are looking pretty good. I mean, it's 13-12. They've had 2 hard-fought sets in a row, so they're really starting to get it. They just need to make sure they're able to come away with this set win. But as far as the motions go, the energy has started to pick back up as the Muskies are playing a little bit better in this set, and they are looking pretty good. So back to you guys.
All right, thank you, Michael. As the Muskies took a 13-12 lead, just couldn't quite get that one as it is now 13-13. A great effort by the front line of the Muskies. However, they were just not able to get it. Give credit to the Purple Raiders front line.
But good defense, too. Jordan Young, she has moved all around that court in that last play when the Purple Raiders were trying to shoot for the outside corners.
Brooke Fathery on the attempt there. A block attempt by Taylor Fathery did not go through. It is now 14-13 in favor of the Purple Raiders. Raiders are only 11 points away from winning not only this third set, but the match itself. Dixon to Fathery off the defense. Shank to Debris. and that is the Bees, and that is a good job by this Purple Raider team. They were only 10 points away from victory.
The Lady Muskies were not on their toes on that last play. If they want to win this third set, they have to keep up their confidence.
Taylor Farley on the kill, and she will get it off the top of the net. So the Muskies are able to stop the bleeding for now. It is now 14-15 in favor of the Purple Raiders.
Something we have been seeing a lot tonight, the Purple Raiders blocks have not been there, which is causing the Muskies to be able to slip through on plays.
Dixon to Farthery, just outside. So it is now a 2-point lead for the Purple Raiders. Allison Baird, the junior libero for this Purple Raider team, comes out for the serve as they are 10 points away from victory. Muskies have not lost a game yet this season in straight sets, as that was a quick hit by Shank, Riley Shank, for this Purple Raider team. Muskies have been using that to their advantage, mainly with Dixon up front. However, they were not expecting it by the Purple Raiders, as that one goes behind Courtney Nestoff for the point. So it is now a 3-point advantage for the Raiders. Sikorsky to Dixon to Plumley. Back over to the Purple Raiders. Great attempt by the front line, but great save by Nestoff. Great, even better dig by Barrett of the Purple Raiders, as looked like that was Plumley on the attempted save. Just couldn't quite get there. It is now a 4-point lead. Muskies take another timeout. We will take one right with them here on WMCO 90.7 and Orbit Media TV on YouTube.
They call me Maxie, but I prefer tripod. I was your above-average four-legged homie, and then wham, bam, minivan. Some people pity me. Now that's lame. I still run, fetch, and swim. And the ladies love me. I'm the ultimate wingman. Just don't ask me to high five.
So there you are, shuffling through a stack of resumes and you come to mine. This is it, first impression, my way in. But can my resume show you how I truly stand out? Like that I was studying, going to night school while working 2 jobs just to help my parents pay for groceries. Or being the first one to always step up. No, that's something you just can't put on paper. Look beyond the resume and discover new ways to develop great talent that is dedicated, hardworking, and determined like me.
Welcome back to the ANC Steelers Center, home of the Fighting Muskies, as they take on the Mount Union Purple Raiders here in volleyball action, as 2 of the top teams in the OAC go head-to-head. Mount Union leads 18-14 in the 3rd set. They lead two sets to none, looking to take the sweep as the Muskies finally stop the bleeding for now. It is now 18-15 in favor of the Raiders.
You can tell that the Lady Muskies really want this, and head coach Hallie Donathan is not looking very happy off to the side.
Not at all, as the Purple Raiders now go back up by 4. It is 19-15 as there's the score change. So it is now 19-15 in favor of the Purple Raiders. They are only 6 points away from victory, as a great setup from Dixon to Brandewy pulls the Muskies back within 3.
We know the Fighting Muskies has the power and has the confidence, but you can tell that in this 3rd set they are starting to falter to the Purple Raiders.
Dixon on the serve. Front Shank sets it up to number 7. Great defense by this Muskie team. Looked like that was number 9 Riley Shank and number 7 Mallory Slimman on the attempted block, or on the attempted hit. However, the Muskie front line was just too much. Trying to get in there, that one goes way beyond the scorer's table. So now the Purple Raiders within 5 points of victory. Go ahead, Rachel.
It is not looking good tonight for the Fighting Muskies. Let's just see if they win this 3rd set.
The problem is both the first and the second set could have went either way. There was just some late mistakes by the Muskies as great defense up front. By number 11, Brooke Nolman, and looked like that was number 1, but a missed opportunity by number 7, Mallory Slimman on the attempted touch over. The Muskies pull within 2.
Logan, you can see how much Hallie Donathan really wants this win tonight for the Muskies. You can see her cheering from the side and just how much power she is bringing.
Absolutely, a great defensive hit, and that one goes just beyond number 17 of Madeline DeBees. A great job by the Fighting Muskies and Brooke Fothery as they are now within 1. We are going to keep it here on WMCO. So as the Muskies are in the huddle, they're down by 1, but not just in this set, but they're down 2 sets to none. What kind of mentality does a player have to have knowing that they're facing elimination right in the face?
Well, tonight we've been seeing a lot of silly mistakes on the court. Double hits, just not being aware of where the ball is. So the Muskies, if they would come back to this third set, they would have to have in the mindset the same, we have to win this all, and there can be no mistakes after this third set to win this OAC.
Both teams came into this game 4-1 overall, tied atop the OAC, along with Otterbein, who lost recently, as well as Ohio Northern, with Baldwin Wallace not too far behind. So this is one of the top games in the conference tonight, as the winner will at least come away with at least part of the OAC lead. As we're back underway from the Steel Center, off the hands of Fothery, and looked like that was Brandewie. So the Purple Raiders now within 4 points of victory. They lead 21-19.
Something the Lady Muskies really need to do is keep their hands down over the net when they're blocking, because there's been too many mistakes.
As O'Shea struggles to get that one over the net. A great defense up front by the Muskies trying to make up for past mistakes. They're going to roll. I'm not sure what happened there, Rachel. You know what happened?
It looks like they rolled 2 hits on a set, so both hands hit the ball at a different time, so the point will go to the Lady Muskies.
It just happened so quick, it was hard to tell what happened. But the Muskies now pull within 1, and we'll see if that is a deciding factor in this, as the Muskies' great defense up front between the Fothery sisters. And that one will be a point for the Purple Raiders. Got it in between Dixon and it looks like Youngs, as it looks like Brandewie and Nestoff are ready to return. That was actually Wiseman in there instead of Wiseman comes out, Nestoff comes in. On the serve for the Purple Raiders, back to the Fighting Muskies. A great hit by Brooke Fothery, and that one will be just beyond the reach of Dixon, as the Purple Raiders now take a commanding 23-20 lead on the verge of victory.
This is what we've been talking about all night, that the Lady Muskies have not been on their toes in the offense or in their defense. The back row has been struggling in all 3 sets tonight.
Muskies get set, that's Purple Raiders. Great save by Nesta, trying to keep this one alive. Young desperately gets it over the net. Great effort. Shank gets it to number 12, who's been pretty good tonight, as Kylie for the Purple Raiders, Nesta to Dixon to Fothery.
What a great save by Jordan Youngs.
To Fothery off the hands of the liberos. This place goes absolutely wild, wanting a 4th set to keep this one alive for the Muskies. They trail 23-21 with the Purple Raiders now 2 points away from victory. Sikorsky will be on the serve. Purple Raiders now on the attack up front. And we're at a 1-point game in the 3rd set. Muskies are clawing their way back.
What great defense by the Lady Muskies. If they keep this up, they will be able to win the 3rd set here tonight.
Sikorsky with a dangerous serve, as it kind of seems to trail off once it gets to the net. Nestoff with the save. Dixon to Fothery. Great save by the libero of Baird. Dixon back to Fothery. Soft touch. Great defense up front by the Purple Raiders. That one is going to be out. 24-22 in favor of the Purple Raiders.
The Lady Muskies should not falter yet. This is still in anyone's game if they keep up their defense.
This is game point for the Purple Raiders. Gets the ball over to Jordan Young. Dixon to Fothery. Great defense by the Purple Raiders up front. Fothery trying again. Off the hands of number 8. That is Elise Nicoli as the Purple Raiders now lead 24-23.
Lady Muskies need one more point to be able to stay in this set.
Fothery on the serve. Shank to Kylie, and that does it. The Purple Raiders will come away with a 3-0 win over the Fighting Muskies.
And Coach Hallie Donovan does not look happy coming on the court tonight. It is a very depressing loss for the Lady Muskies tonight, where the Purple Raiders will be taking first in the OAC.
So the Fighting Muskies fall 3-0 to the Purple Raiders as we get ready here for our post-game analysis as the Fighting Muskies fall 3-0, 25-23. You can't really blame the Fighting Muskies for too much as they lost all 3 sets by 2 points.
And it's very depressing for the Lady Muskies seeing that they have lost by every single set just by 2 points. You can tell that they have little tiny mistakes all throughout the whole game that has really put them behind, and that's some things they really need to work on going against a team like Mount Union.
We are going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we will have post-game analysis of tonight's game, so keep it here on WMCO 90.7 and Orbit Media TV on YouTube.
They call me Maxie, but I prefer tripod. I was your above-average four-legged homie, and then wham, bam, minivan. Some people pity me. Now that's lame. I still run, fetch, and swim. And the ladies love me. I'm the ultimate wingman. Just don't ask me to high five.
Your daughter just had her first breakup. Do you A, put yourself in her shoes? B, console her?
Don't worry, sweetie. This is gonna happen a lot.
Or C, find her a new boyfriend?
Nice single boys. That was weird.
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
And we're back here on WMCO 90.7 and Orbit Media TV on YouTube and New Concord Cable Channel 9. Final score from today's match is the Fighting Muskies 0, the Mount Union Purple Raiders 3. I'm Logan Weaver alongside Rachel Schlarb, and we have Michael Pagano down on the sideline, and he is standing by with Coach Jonathan for today's post-game interview. Take it away, Michael.
I am here with Coach Jonathan, and Coach, obviously it's a very tough loss, but what do you take away from the game, and what advice are you going to give your girls after the game?
Yeah, Mount is a really, really good team, and they have a lot of seniors who have played for many, many years, and I think we are a building program, and I think we can learn a lot from them and how they play.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it was a close matchup, and so obviously Mount is in the lead now in the OAC, but what are you going to tell your girls as they are playing Ohio Northern on Saturday and what they still can do in the OAC?
Absolutely. I don't think anything is lost from losing that game. I think we can still go and beat Northern if we practice well this week and we get our game back.
All right, thank you, Coach. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Michael. And as you heard, Coach Jonathan says that this is a learning process for this team still. It is a young team, as you mentioned, but they have definitely improved. So I think with this improved team, that higher standard already comes despite the fact that they are still young.
They really are. You can tell there's a lot of freshmen coming up that's going to be future leaders of the Muskie volleyball team. something tonight is just we had a good mixture between seniors and freshmen on the court tonight. But like we've said throughout the whole game, little mistakes have been made that really cost the Muskies every single set here on this game tonight.
Absolutely. The Purple Raiders just had a great effort. I think for me, the biggest effort was up front. A great defense. Looking at some of the players who did play up front, I believe it was Shank and Kaylee for this Purple Raiders team. So they definitely did a good job at trying to control this Muskie team.
A lot of the volleys tonight was above the 10-foot line. So looking at any of the stats, the Purple Raiders played really well defense going into the game tonight, just because there was a lot of tips going over the net by the Lady Muskies.
And for the Lady Muskies, once again, it was another great show despite the 3-set loss to the Purple Raiders. It was a great effort tonight once again by the Fothery sisters.
It really was, just because the Fothery sisters have that sister bond that just brings so much excitement and confidence to the team because it is their home. They are here from New Concord. So come to Muskingum University, they are playing not for themselves but for their community as well.
So we're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we will have more post-game analysis from tonight's game. So keep it here on WMCO 90.7 and Orbit Media TV on YouTube.
So there you are, shuffling through a stack of resumes and you come to mine. This is it, first impression, my way in. But can my resume show you how I truly stand out? Like that I was studying, going to night school while working 2 jobs just to help my parents pay for groceries. Or being the first one to always step up. No, that's something you just can't put on paper. Look beyond the resume and discover new ways to develop great talent that is dedicated, hardworking, and determined like me.
Your daughter just had her first breakup. Do you A, put yourself in her shoes? B, console her?
Don't worry, sweetie. This is gonna happen a lot.
Or C, find her a new boyfriend?
Nice single boys. That was weird.
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
They call me Maxie, but I prefer tripod. I was your above-average 4-legged homie, and then wham, bam, minivan. Some people pity me. Now that's lame. I still run, fetch, and swim. And the ladies love me. I'm the ultimate wingman. Just don't ask me to high five.
You're tuned in to WMCO 90.7 The Orbit, as well as Orbit Media TV on YouTube and New Concord Cable Channel 9. This is post-game analysis from tonight's Lady Muskie volleyball game, as they took on the Mount Union Purple Raiders. The Purple Raiders came away with a 3-0 victory over the Lady Muskies. I'm Logan Weaver alongside Rachel Slarb and Michael Pagano with our sideline reporter this evening. Let's look ahead for the Fighting Muskies as they take on next. They go to Ohio Northern, and that is also going to be a big game as Ohio Northern was one of the teams tied atop the conference tonight.
Something the Lady Muskies really need to look forward to is that not all mistakes were made here tonight. There was some fantastic plays made by Miranda Plumley and also Jordan Youngs tonight. Fantastic defense by both of them and offense. So going into it, you need to look at the more positives than negatives and try to work on those silly mistakes when you go to Ohio Northern, just because they were or still is tied for first place.
You kind of touched on what I was about ready to say. What are some of the positives that the Muskies can take away from tonight? And you mentioned those silly mistakes. What are some of the silly mistakes that they need to do in order, because it seems like they're going to be one of the top 4 teams in this conference and likely hosting a tournament game. So what do they need to do to prepare themselves as they get ready for tournament time?
Well, looking back at the sets tonight, the right side hitters were never prepared for blocks coming their way. Always not on their toes tonight. Purple Raiders took a big victory and it took a big advantage over that. Also, there was a lot of double hits tonight from setters, not getting the set there in time and also hitting the ball with both hands. So that was some mistakes tonight for the Lady Muskies, but all together, defense was great, especially from Librero, and also from Jordan Youngs and Miranda Plumley. They were very, very good defense tonight. The back row was on their game, but it was the offense that struggled tonight in front of the 10-foot line.
Two others to give a shout out to Mackenzie O'Shea and Chloe Brandewey were really dominant up front everywhere they could, as well as the Fatherly sisters. But someone who probably doesn't get enough credit is probably Erin Dixon, the freshman, also from New Concord, who played with Brooke Fatherly at John Glenn. So they both came in together, and they both had that relationship. Don't know how many times we called Dixon to Fatherly tonight, whether it be to Taylor or Brooke. So there's that relationship too, and it just seems like Dixon gets overlooked sometimes when talking about these freshmen, such as Sinkorski, who does a lot of the serves, and Brooke Fatherly, who, as we all know, is one of the better freshmen and one of the better overall players on this team.
Looking at the freshman players tonight, especially Dixon, you can tell that she is rising up into a leadership position, especially whenever the seniors are going to be leaving after this year. And you can tell, especially from this freshman class, that the Lady Muskies are still going to be powerful in years to come just by how much power they are having this year.
Absolutely. The Muskies fall to 4-2 in conference play, while Mount Union takes control of the OAC at 5-1. They move to 21-3 overall, while the Muskies fall to 17-4. For Michael Pagano, our sideline reporter, and Rachel Schlarb, our color commentator, I'm Logan Weaver. Thanks for tuning in tonight, and stay tuned for a regularly scheduled program on WMCO here on The Orbit.